So this time I've got another BBC. This one had the same problem. If you check the link, the power supply blown, but also we've got the added issue here of this key missing. So someone's done an audio modification on this one, so rather than being able to just use the speaker built in, you can actually output it to a different speaker or to your TV. So this is using the old style British plug, so there's no insulation on the live or neutral pins, and you wouldn't be able to buy a plug like this today. So on the back you can see we're missing the eco net, it wasn't installed. Weirdly it does power on even though them capacitors are blowing. So luckily the previous owner has taped a return key to the bottom of the computer, so we'll just remove that now. Unfortunately the post is broken off in the bottom of the key itself. First thing I need to try and do is get this out. Now here I'm using a jeweler's screwdriver to try and get it. Then I thought I would try using a pair of pincers. Once I get it started it should be okay. I'm just hoping nobody's glued it in place, because if they have, it's pretty much short of drilling and filing, you're not getting that out again. But luckily it looks like it's starting to move. So just give it another pull with these cutters. And hopefully, fingers crossed, yep, it's definitely coming out, so should be able to just pull that out now. There we go. So we can reuse this key again, which is quite handy. Perfect. So I'll just remove the top cover, take the keyboard out. Only got the one screw holding this in. There was something rattling about in here as well, and it was the other nut for the other screw. So just undo this little mod here. Whoever's done this has done a fairly decent job of it, to be fair. They've got a plug so it can be disconnected, and then that also has to be disconnected from the PCB as well. Again, very basic on the chip front, no real added chips to it. So now we just got the keyboard by itself. I've got a replacement key. I just bought this on eBay, and again, depending on what model, BBC Model B you've got, depends on what key you're going to need. So again, just look it up what one you're going to need. So as you can see, I'm just trying this one out just to make sure it is the right one. So I've just desoldered the old key. I'm just using a screwdriver to try and get it away from the printed circuit board. There it goes. So there's the new key next to the old key, and as you can see the post on the top of that one's broken, which is a shame, but not much use now. So just cleaning some of that flux up that had gone through from the back of the board under the key. So now that's all clean. Looks like this key can go around either way really to be inserted, so just inserted that in, and what's nice is because it's got clips on it, it holds it in position, making it a lot easier to solder. And a little bit of flux to the legs, and then applying the solder to it. Again, I'm putting a fairly decent amount on there because I want it to make a good contact. That seems to be doing a good job. So just making a note of what temperature I'm using, 336 degrees C for my soldering iron there, which seemed to do, it wasn't spattering or anything. So just plug the speaker back into its original location, and again it can only go around one way. If you go around the wrong way, it will hit the capacitor and won't go all the way to the bottom, so very easy to get back in the right position. And again with this, what's quite handy is they've kind of got staggered pins on there, so again this can only go back together one way. I'm taking my time here and just being a little bit careful because I don't want to bend them pins over, and then obviously this external speaker mod won't work anymore. Now we're just going to put our key back onto our new post. Give it a couple of pushes just to make sure it's in position. That looks good. So now I have it all back together. I'm using a ZX Spectrum cassette lead just to connect it to an external speaker, just to see what this is like really, putting it through instead of putting it through the internal speaker, see what a difference it makes. Now bearing in mind I didn't do this modification, I've bought it with this modification on there, so I'm not sure how it works. The way I understood it was, got a little bit of hum there. And that sounds a lot stronger. I'm just going to try a little program. But now with that modification, it looks like, originally I thought the idea was you can turn it on or off and then you basically turn it up. It's like a volume control. That doesn't seem to be the case at all. It's almost like if as soon as anything's plugged in there, it'll go to that external speaker. And by turning that volume control, what looks like a volume control, just seems to adjust how much noise you get through the speaker itself. So turning up full volume seems to make it the quietest it can be. That's all working lovely. So I will see you on the next one. Please like and subscribe if you like what I'm doing. I've done a Patreon as well. If you have the means and you like what I'm doing, please support me, and look forward to seeing you on the next one.